Good afternoon. I don't know what day it is anymore. uh, Probably gonna lose track of that pretty soon. So I made my first thumbnail. So because I was using Canva to edit my thumbnail. So I found a screenshot, snipped it, and then and tried to edit it. But I was looking at other people's YouTube videos, like their thumbnails, like the setting. Right, I'm in a vehicle. You know, there's certain things that make sense to put in here, certain things not make sense. So for me, first time making my thumbnail, I was like, it's probably best in this setting here to make it like minimal, right? But the main thing is like having something like this, like and having something right above it, or if I'm like this, having my hands straight so I can like fit whatever object or something, or whatever design on top makes it look good. Because I was kind of like wanting to have it to where the ball was like I was holding the ball, but of course, it was Photoshop. But that's what I was trying to do, Photoshop shop it. But I'm using Canva, which is like I'm just moving stuff around, not actually photoshopping it, right? Because I was trying to mess with like the layering, that wasn't really working. So I did the transparency for it, but you know, not what I had in mind, of course. And then even if I use AI, it's like I don't know, like AI, like the images of AI. Some of the stuff, it's like I don't really mess with it. But yeah, that's the only thing is like if I gotta have something, it's like either this or like this, like flat, like that, or like this. Or I know, cause I was watching. Oh man, that guy's okay. Or like we look at out the window, kind of like have angles. So I guess like for YouTubers, and just just people in general, really, is use a lot of motion. You know, looking upwards, look downwards, moving your hands, fingers. Um, be what's a like? How am I trying to word wise? Like movement, like move around. Yeah, you gotta move around a lot. So it's easier for you to get a thumbnail or something because you're like, oh, I'll snip at this image right here because I'm making a face for looking at this window or this angle and stuff like that. Like whatever you have in mind to put in that video or thumbnail, I should say, you know, you can put it in there and it makes sense, right? Because I watched this lady talk about like the main things, like very important things with like the big YouTubers use for their thumbnails, right? Obviously, like she was going very in deep. I'm like, I'm just the guy recording in my car, my truck, I should say, just driving down the road, going back home, right? Versus me like sitting down on a desk in my room or something, or like at that point, yeah, it's. Oh, and one thing was I was wanting to like blur this, right? Because a lot of people like blur out the images and whatnot. Um, Except you have to pay to use that service on there on Canva. So I was like, I wonder if I get that screenshot, if I can find some. I'm sure I just gotta find somewhere to like upload that image and have it filter out, like blur their image pre uploading it to Canva, So when I upload to Canva, it's already blurred out. You know, I just gotta find a service to do that. Yeah. So I don't know if I can maybe use Chat GPT to probably blur the background. That's what I may do. Um, because as one of the things, as I say, practice makes perfect, but it's not always practice makes perfect. You gotta reflect on what mistakes you made and correct that. Otherwise, you're just making the same mistake, right, over and over again. So for me, I told myself going forward now, I'm going to be editing every thumbnail I make, so I get practice making thumbnails. You know, so yeah, it was because for me, I was looking at videos about it and stuff like that. Then I was actually going through the motion of editing it, so it was just way longer process, right? But of course, I'm starting out, right? All my thumbnails were just auto generated from YouTube, but there's no edits, right? And it makes sense, right? With no edits, not really like if someone were to see just my video, right, the thumbnail, they're like, okay, the guy in the vehicle, maybe the title may be interesting, but the thumbnail I'm not, so I'm not gonna click it, right? Versus the thumbnail being attractive. What she said was, no, it wasn't she. I think it was another guy I was watching. It was like, it's like 80. I don't know. I don't know. I think I can't recall what the actual like fractions were meaning. It was like 80-20 or something. Maybe it was like, the main thing is you want them to click on the video, right? Because if you make a great video when no one watches it, does you no good, right? You do all this editing, everything like that for your video, amazing hard work. It's gonna be like a big hit, but if no one watches it, yeah. So that's gonna be the next thing. It would be editing these videos. Um, that's the big kicker, right? Uh, which I mean, obviously, like for me, all I'm doing is like really talking, right? I'm not doing really much else, but maybe having like an image pop up here, like a statistic or something, right? Or like a sound effect playing, something like that, to where even though it's small, it's practice. Like, oh yeah, I know how to add a sound here, or I know how to like you know add an image in with the sound effect with it, right? Um, so I have some experience versus just kind of like, yeah, I never did that. I'm not going to do that. Um, it's just for me, kind of like, okay, what would make sense in terms of like editing, adding in stuff like that, and as well as oh, oh, oh. Mm. And as well as see, like if I was editing, I would just edit that portion out. But hey, one day, right? But I don't know, like the editing would be like. I guess having this all well, I guess the thumbnail would have this blur out in the video, but which is how it is now. Uh, and yeah, but I am going to start how I do the videos more is just focusing on just one topic and really just discussing that. That's been the central point. So just changing something up. Obviously I made 150 videos already, so I was like, time to change it up. So going forward, I'm just discuss something and just kind of like have that as the main discussion point, right? Just the main central point. Kind of like go off track. If something does happen like at work, it's like that's worth talking about. I'll definitely like finish recording this video, and then before I get home, record a small video, just kind of like discussing like, oh, this is what happened, so like that. So yeah, I'll end it here till tomorrow. See ya.